Next week in Portugal, and Feyenoord are leading Roma by a goal to nil. Jose Mourinho's Roma side trailing in the first leg, and it's a 1-1 draw between Bayer Leverkusen and Union Saint-Gilloise. Our focus here at Old Trafford, though, is on that 2-2 draw between Manchester United and Sevilla. United were so comfortable, 2-0 up at half-time. How did they manage to throw away that 2-goal lead?
It's a good question, Julie. I don't really know. It feels a strange second half, especially. I don't know if they were just too complacent, too confident that Sevilla weren't great in the first half. And when you watch the first half, United were playing so well, so confident. You're thinking this is 3, 4, 5, and it's going to be the end of the game tonight. And the second half was a complete disaster, really. Malacias really should have dealt with that first goal at Scholes, and he didn't. And from then on, it was a really difficult night. I think El Nesri was a bit of a handful when he came on. Owen, he looked good in the air, but Malacias has to deal with that. He can't afford to let that ball bounce. He has to come and just get rid of it, and he's unaware of the danger behind him, and that's where the danger is. You can look, it's an easy ball. Go and just swing your right foot. You can't afford to let that bounce. Maybe he thinks it's going to skid on. I don't know, but from then on, it just seems to go from bad for worse. United, you think of injuries, suspensions. Then they get the second goal. It's not a great second half for them.
No, it was a huge surprise. I mean, I think Erik ten Hag will be really frustrated because the goal didn't need to happen. Credit, Navas had a big impact on the game, and Nesri had an impact on the game. They got more bodies in the box, more crosses, but it's an easy ball for Malacia to deal with. And maybe because it's on his weaker right foot, he was just a little bit wary of, with it bouncing awkwardly, does he take it? He doesn't really know that the attacker's in behind him. Just gets caught, and it's such an easy one to deal with. When he looks at it back tomorrow, he'll be thinking, oh, why didn't I just clear it? And from that moment on, it just felt like the game completely changed.
Can you say the same thing about the second own goal?
No, it's so difficult for Harry. He's just too close to it. And this could go anywhere. I don't know how it ends up in the back of the net. It looks like when you see it live, you think, oh, it's a great header. This has gone so far wide, it's almost unbelievable from Nesri, and just ricochets off Harry. There's nothing he can do. He tries to get out of the way, comes straight off his forehead into the bottom corner. It's just so unlucky for Harry.
He was a handful when he came on, though. I think he'll be starting the game next week. He's got a leap in him. I know he did well in the World Cup as well, scored a couple of goals. You never felt like Sevilla was putting tons of pressure on United. It was just a really strange second half when you can only put it down to complacency.
Can that happen in games when if you've played against opponents that have been particularly weak in a first half and you've taken a lead and been quite comfortable? Can you come out as a team and almost take your foot off the gas and assume the game's done?
I think it is possible. I think we've just seen it. It is possible. Did it happen when we played? Possibly. The manager would have allowed us to be complacent in the second half. When you're in a quarter final, this is the time to win this game, to win this tie. You win it here tonight. That should be 3, 4, 5-0 against the opposition that you're playing. And the only thing I could think of, they felt it was going to be too easy. They felt it was just going to be a stroll in the park. And you just can't do that in European competition. You can't do it against a club like Sevilla. We know the record.
Not at 2-0 though, can you?
No, not at 2-0.
To be fair, I don't think they took the foot off the gas. The 3-0 was there. Anthony had hit it off the post.
I think that was the only thing in the second half.
I think Weghorst had a half a chance as well.
Yeah.
But I think that's the way that the 3-0 felt more likely than Sevilla scoring. This is it from Anthony. Does brilliantly. So good coming inside, and it just comes straight off the post. Normally that nestles into that corner, and it just really at that point I thought the 3-0 was going to come, and it probably should have. But with the mistake from Malacia, the game just completely turned, and then Sevilla were the ones on attack. This is the one from Weghorst. You think he turns and shoots, Scholes, he sets Malacia, and they just get bodies in front.
I think he turns and shoots. When you look back at who's on the edge of the box, Malacia, I don't think he's somebody you think is going to score. I think a proper centre forward with real quality. If that's a Martial, I think he's either back-heeling it and trying to score, or he turns quickly and gets his shot quicker than scores. He's 5-6 yards out.
Can you blame Erik ten Hag, though, for taking Anthony Martial off in the 62nd minute?
No, I think obviously with the situation with Marcus Rashford, first of all, Anthony Martial was fantastic today. He played so well. I think maybe more the surprise was that Bruno came off. Maybe he just felt like he wanted to get some other players some minutes, but the game definitely changed at that point. I can understand why he did it. as a manager, because he's, obviously losing Marcus, playing so many minutes. He didn't want to lose Anthony as well. But it just felt like with the subs that Sevilla made, it did change the game. It impacted Sevilla, and United weren't the same, didn't have the same quality out there.
Well, a player who Manchester United looked to have certainly lost for potentially the rest of the season, Paul, is Lisandro Martinez. This did not look good. What do you imagine has happened here? Because we haven't had any confirmation yet.
Yeah, look, it's difficult for us to assume, but it does look like he's done his Achilles, which is a bad one. I remember actually playing a game with Nicky Butt, and he did something very similar, and he asked me who kicked me, because he felt like somebody goes through him, and I'm sure Martinez feels. I've never done the injury myself, I'm not sure about Owen, but when there's nobody near you like that and something at the back of your ankle, heel goes, then you'd have to suspect it's an Achilles one, and it doesn't look great.
You can see he almost looks around, doesn't he?
Yeah, but his international teammates carried him off, which is obviously an amazing gesture. He probably didn't want to go off on a stretcher. He's that type, Martinez, but my thoughts go out to him, because that is the worst, the worst feeling ever as a player. You've done something wrong. And, often it looks that way with an Achilles. We don't want to speculate. But for him to go down that way, he is such a warrior. That would be such a huge worry. He's a fabulous player. Varane went off earlier before that. And now Martinez, that would be a huge blow. He's been an absolute...
It'll be a big miss.
Huge miss.
He's shown real character and leadership skills, a strength, a solidness to that back four, along with Varane as well. I think it probably makes it a 50-50 game next week now.
And no Bruno Fernandes either, because he picked up a booking in this game as well, which means he misses the second leg. But you're not happy with this at all, are you?
It's a ridiculous decision from the referee. What's Bruno supposed to do? He's a yard away. I mean, he's right on top of it, by the way, the referee. That's not a yellow card, I don't think at all.
I thought the referee was poor on that. There was any sign of a foul, he couldn't wait to get his yellow card out. And look, just give the free kick. Yeah, it's not intentional on ball, is it? He's stood a yard away from him.
You can see what he thinks about it.
Well, you're missing Varane, potentially missing Martinez, missing Fernandes. That first half was so under control. Could have been 3 or 4-0, and all of a sudden everything completely changes with the injuries and now missing Bruno. It's a big surprise. That second half was a big surprise. And
of course, when you talk about people that are missing, Marcus Rashford, we don't know if he'll definitely miss the second leg, but judging by the press conference yesterday and the comments that we heard from the manager, he's likely to miss the second leg as well. Did you see enough tonight from the players in front of goal that they're going to be OK for that game, for the second leg? Yeah,
I think so. I don't think missing Marcus will be as serious as probably missing Martinez, Bruno and Varane. I think we've seen Martial tonight looking really sharp in that first half. I think Anthony's looking better with each game he plays. I still expect a little bit more from Sancho, but I think in them front three, there's still quality to score goals.
Manchester United, really comfortable. We wondered who would fill the Marcus Rashford goal-scoring void. Marcel Sabitzer, not the name you expected.
No, it wasn't, no, but look, he scored 2 really good goals. We know he's the lad who has coming from Anthony Martial has been fantastic on, 3 or 4 occasions. He's been really good. He did a little flick in there to Bruno, and this is a way to pass where passes the ball away from the defender, and it's almost a centre forward's goal. It's a fantastic touch from Sabitzer, and it's not the position you expect him to be in really. But again, Bruno playing that deepest position can see these things, and that's how valuable he is. And as I say, passing it away from the defender to the wrong side of him, it gives Sabitzer no option but to place that ball in that position, control it there. OK, he's a little bit fortunate with deflection, but really good goal on him. Yeah,
Anthony Martial was brilliant. I think his link-up play in the whole game was fabulous. And again here on the second one, he's been able to get the ball down and drive forward. But with Bruno playing deeper, Sabitzer's allowed to drive forward there. That's a centre-forward's run. The timing is perfect. And it's a great finish. I think Erik ten Hag would be absolutely delighted with Sabitzer coming in. Martial looks fit, he looks sharp. He has so much talent, Anthony, it's almost unbelievable. It's great to see him. But Sabitzer with 2 fantastic finishes, and just feels like there's plenty more goals in this United side.
Free-flowing football, but are Sevilla giving Manchester United too much space?
Well, they're in the league position they're in for a reason. They struggled all season. They don't have any stability in the back line. No real legs in midfield. They're not even playing with the centre forward. So I think United, if they want, they can score more goals. This was their only shot on target. Nianzou with a header, David with a brilliant save, and Varane with a great reaction, but Man United have absolutely dominated that first half.
Yeah, for all of Manchester United's dominance, they needed De Gea and Varane to keep that 2-goal advantage, Paul.
Yeah, look, it's a save you expect David to make it. Again, if a Sevilla player was taking Europa and trying to really attack that, then it'd be difficult. But Varane is, the size of him, the sheer size of him has made him, be able to clear that ball away. And United have to be careful. They're a much better team than these. I'm not sure the quality of Sevilla, the 13th in La Liga, and they look up.
Welcome Manchester United News Channel, the home of Red Devils fans. Marcel Sabitzer has named one thing that is more extreme at Manchester United than Bayern Munich. Manchester United are in a fierce race for the top 4 as the Premier League draws to a close, sitting level on points with Newcastle in 4th place. Meanwhile, Erik ten Hag remains in both cup competitions available to him, as he looks to deliver further silverware this season. To help him along the way, the Dutchman has required the help of Sabitzer, who joined the Red Devils on loan from Bayern in January to provide cover for the injured Christian Eriksen. The 29-year-old has fitted in well at the club, making 12 appearances in all competitions, while he has hopes of extending his stay at Old Trafford. However, the Austrian has outlined one major difference between United and Bayern. Sabitzer on Man UTD competition. During an interview with German news outlet Sport Bild, Sabitzer detailed the high level of competition within United's midfield, labeling it more extreme than at his parent club. There's competition at every top club. At United, it's even more extreme than in Munich, said Sabitzer. Subscribe to our channel and activate the bell so you don't miss any news.